Hello friends, it's Kayla. Thank you so much for joining me on day 9 of 10 days of fa la 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 la. I am unwell, but the show must go on. Speaking of that, actually, I'm supposed to put out my everything I read this year. I'm supposed to film it tomorrow and put it out the next day. I'm wondering if I should put it off or if you're fine experiencing my sniffles and my sore throat. Like, I can't tell how I sound on the outside. Like, I think I feel fine to film that. But it is like a 6-hour filming process and I will probably lose my voice. But I don't want to put it off if you're fine, like, experiencing me like this in it. Also, thank you for the feedback on yesterday's video. I have noted for next year that if I do the same bracket thing for my honorable mentions, that I only include honorable mentions and not my top 9 also. I think I just felt weird putting something in my #1 spot that wasn't actually my #1 of the year, but I also didn't think it through that well because I wasn't feeling great, and looking back on it now you can tell that I'm getting sick in that video. But anyway, I don't want to put the video off too long because I also just put out my members post of the month of everything that we're up to, and I scheduled and slotted it in, so I feel like I'm committed to it. But also, if I put it off, I could just film another sit down video in the meantime. So if you want to let me know if you'd be into that, if you want that. I didn't do the bookish survey at the end of this year, so like I could put that in here. I'm here for the people. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. What we're gonna do today is 3 things. I'm gonna look back at my goals video from the beginning of 2023, which I already know is a terrible idea because I can tell you already without watching it that I failed at many of my goals. But I do also need to be regularly humbled for my own mental well-being. So I think that that's good for me to watch. And the reason I know that it's not going to be good is I remember watching it, I think halfway through the year as a little assessment, and then was already failing at some of them, but then didn't take any of the goals and like try to accomplish them better. So that's what we're going to start with. The second thing is I'm going to talk about my goals for 2024 and like a list of ins and outs, what I consider my ins and outs for 2024. And then I'm also going to tell you 24 books that I'm planning to read at some point during the year in different fun little categories. So let me move out of the way, and Kayla from a year ago can pop into
Day 9 of fa la 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 la.
It was also day 9 here. Do we miss the strawberry blonde? Oh, be honest. I need to know.
I know people do like 23 and 23 books from their backlist they want to read this year.
Oh, no.
I know some people are doing 12 book recommendations from 12 friends. I feel like I'm doing a bit of both of those things.
Did I do 12 books by 12 friends? I think I started doing it, and then I also was like, I'm just going to include my 12 members picks as my 12 by 12 friends. So I'm going to already say, because at this point I didn't know what would have come out of my TBR jar. I did read 12 books suggested by 12 members. Half of them went well, half of them didn't. The TBR jar is officially continuing in 2024. So if you join my channel membership right now, in about a week, I'll be printing out the latest list of suggestions and stuffing it in the jar. Should I get the jar? I put it away in the closet. I hid it from my sight. Here she is. She's beautiful and full and will become more full as I already have things to print out. You go over there. The submission can be anything, something you think I'll love, something you think I'll hate, something you want me to taste test for you before you read it. It was so empty. Okay, let's skip ahead.
I just want to keep doing things the way I've been doing things. I just really like what I'm currently up to. I don't feel like I'm chasing anything. My goal is to run my book club the way I've been running it 10 months out of the year. My goal is to continue making 2 videos a week if I feel like it, if everything aligns properly. I want to keep doing my seasonal TBRs. And as far as the membership, we're doing new seasonal book club buddy read things. We also have a bi-monthly movie night. So I did accomplish that goal. I ran my channel the exact way I wanted to. I feel like this might have been not the most joy I felt creating content, but over the past couple years, this year I felt reinvigorated with my content. I was loving not always what I was reading, but what I was making. And that, I guess, is my #1 goal for 2024, to do the exact same thing, because
I'm happy with everything. Okay, so this was also my January and February TBR, so I'm pulling things out of the members TBR jar, but in this moment, I won't be doing that for another week or two. Okay, I'm now talking about the 12 Books by 12 Friends.
Zuki recommended Where I End by Sophie White.
I've now bought it, didn't read it.
Then my friend Ellis recommended Hawk Mountain, which I've never heard of.
I bought it. It's in the closet. The thing about me is I almost never commit to books unless I already know what video they're going to be in. And for these, I didn't. And therefore, they just never got slotted in.
The Iliac Crest, which is translated fiction. Perhaps one of my goals for the year is to read more translated stuff.
What'd she say? Okay, well, I bought it, but what? My goal is to read more translated fiction? Oh my god. Did I do that? Please tell me I did that. Okay, let me pull up all 270 books and count them right now. Okay. Oh my god. I'm halfway through the list. How am I only at 1? 2. What the fuck? 7? Okay, apparently I read 7 translated books. What did I read last year? This isn't even a stat that I keep track of. 7. 8. Okay, so I failed my goal by 1 book. Perfect. What's your next goal?
That brings me to my next goal quickly, is less reading of synopsis in 2023.
I absolutely followed through with that. Success. Check it off.
Not read series if I'm not interested. To stop feeling guilty about not continuing or not completing series. This could get into books too, like let's throw in another goal that this is my DNF era.
It was my DNF era, and I did plan to keep track of all the books I DNF so I could make a video at the end of the year of all my DNFs, and then I completely forgot to do that, and I don't know that I would even remember what most of them were. But oh boy, did I DNF a lot this year. Here comes the goal that I absolutely failed on. I can see it coming.
To read books when they come out. I don't feel that way about every book, but I really want that to be a thing that I do with thrillers.
To be fair, I didn't buy that many mystery thriller books, but I also didn't read that many, and the few that I did buy, I only read like half of. So I most definitely have some books on my TBR shelf that I feel shame for not reading when they came out, but there's nothing I can do about that now. I knew I was failing at that goal halfway through the year. I didn't know how to fix it once I was this deep into it, so.
I have no goals as far as how many books I read in a year. I set my Goodreads goal to 100 because I can't imagine a world in which I don't hit that number, but I also do not care how many books I read.
Okay, so my goal list was very short as I intended it to be. I still only accomplished half of the goals, but this year, my ins and outs for 2024, read 100 books if I feel like it, continue my channel, posting 2 videos a week if I feel like it. I think my actual number 1 goal when it comes to content is continue doing the same types of videos that I've done, and even like the same videos that I do year to year, but make them different. In the same way that I did the Goodreads video differently, there's videos that I do every single year, including like reading booktuber favorites every year, that I'm gonna switch up a little bit this year, but it still has the same essence. Another goal of mine is to keep up with my TBR shelf and continuing to read 1 chapter from every book before I put it on the TBR shelf and slot it onto either shelf. So like the bottom shelf is for things that I gave a 5, 6, or 7 out of 10. As initial intrigue goes, the top shelf is for 8, 9s, and 10s. So when I'm searching for something to read, I usually pull from the top shelf. If I'm planning a video, maybe I'll try to pull from the bottom shelf because I don't know when else I'll get to those books. I am gonna do a channel members video this month, but also maybe regularly through the year, where I just read like the first chapter of maybe all the books that I've hauled recently and slot them on the shelves. I don't think that needs to be a standalone video, but something that I just check in with regularly on the side. I also have a goal to do smaller TBRs because I do these videos where I read, like, my goal is usually 5 books. Sometimes I just go off on something else and pick 10 or pick 15, but even the videos where I do 5, I want to knock those to 4 as my normal average. I think 4 books might be the perfect size vlog for me. Another goal actually aligns with these perfectly is to read more weird books. I feel as though I was lacking a little bit last year in just short weird things, so I want to do that more. This is my anthology year. I'm going to read a ton of short story collections. I want to start doing library book hauls. I don't know if that should be a standalone thing or just include them in my bi-monthly book hauls, but I did it a couple times and then I forgot. I love library book hauls. I want to encourage other people to do them as well, those who aren't already, who check out their library or want to start going to their library more. So maybe I'll post them on TikTok. Either way, I want to start sharing more what I have out from the library. I have another goal that's more just personal, and it's only to do audiobooks while moving. So like while I'm on a walk, while I'm cleaning the house, while I'm like actively doing something. I don't do audiobooks a ton, but half the time I'm just like lying in my bed when I could be physically reading. And I do prefer physically reading, so my goal is to never be seated, lying, and consuming an audiobook. Another goal of mine is to do more written reviews. I don't know if I should say that one out loud, because if I watch this back next year and I failed at it, I'm gonna be upset that I said it. I by no means want to do it for every book, but I think there are some things that I log on Goodreads that are all-time favorites, and I want to express to the people reading my reviews how much I love it. Also, probably posting on Storygraph at the same time if I can keep up with both. I want to do more rereading, because some of the rereads of 2023 were really big wins, and I'm glad that I did them. More fairy books in 2024 for sure. Not sure what I want them to be, and I don't think I want to go back and read like the most popular ones, but more fairy books I think are to come. My goal is to continue the TBR jar, like I said. My goal is to be more up to date with nonfiction releases. I am always behind on nonfiction. I always pick up such good ones, but I'm almost always reading them after so many people have read and loved them. I want to be more, have my finger on the pulse of nonfiction releases. And then I also wrote down my ins for 2024 are balance and self-care. And then outs for the year are consumerism disguised as self-care, judging books by their covers, because ugly books deserve love too, and I learned that this year. Outs are ignoring my internet friends' invitations to do things together, because I've gotten really bad at that lately. Outs, anything AI related, sorry. Outs are caffeine. I've been caffeine free for 4 months, and I feel the best emotionally like regulated wise and energy wise than I probably ever have. Outs personally are wearing my contacts for 16 hours a day. This is just something I put on my like overall goals, because my eye doctor once said that it looks like I sleep in my contacts, like that's how much my eyes are not getting enough oxygen. And I burst a blood vessel in my eye at some point this year, and I had to wear glasses for a week, and my eyes have never felt or looked clearer, whiter, brighter, and my contacts are really like causing like yellowing to my eyes, and I think I just want to start taking them out earlier in the evening. So you are now in charge of holding me accountable. If you see me late night vlogging at like midnight and I don't have my glasses on, remind me, because I will forget, clearly. What's also in might be not my hater era, because I've had my hater era. That was like 2019 me. Then we had like you know, a depression era, an exhausted era, and now I'm feeling lively again. But I do think perhaps my like snark era could be coming in hot, because the fact that I haven't given out a 1-star in a year is kind of baffling. And sometimes I find myself cutting out my like critiques that I feel like have gone a little too far in videos, and I'm gonna include them more. I think I'm ready for Hater Kayla to come back just a little bit, and I just feel for the poor soul who gets my first 1-star of the year. And lastly, let me tell you about 24 books that I'm definitely gonna read in 2024. One of them was on my list of books I'm gonna read in 2023. I posted this on Instagram. One book I completely forgot to read, and that's Salt Slow by Julia Armfield. So this is the first thing that I'm reading in January of this year. Let's actually organize this into 6 categories, 4 in each. 4 books that I meant to read in 2023. This one that I already owned in my 23 and 23, and then 3 books that I picked up saying, I'm totally gonna read these in 2023, but didn't. 4 books that I am gonna be reading for book clubs. So Out There Screaming is the February pick for the Literally Dead Book Club. There will be an official announcement like next week, but I've already talked about that. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers will also be one of the picks this year. And then I don't have a physical copy of the next Emily Wilde book, but we will be reading that, myself and my channel members, in tandem with That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon as our spring Besties Book Club. There will be a live show. It's actually during a little readathon or right after a little readathon that we do together twice a year. So those are 4 things that I'm reading for book clubs. Like I said, it's the year of short stories and anthologies. So 4 that I'm planning on reading are Night of the Living Res, The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. Definitely want to get to that. Probably in like Earth Month, Earth Day, I'll be reading Loosed Upon the World, which I've had for a while. And then in December, I'm going to read The Winter Spirits because I meant to do that last year and didn't. Let's do 4 books for video plans that you don't know. Well, maybe you know about this one. I'm currently reading Jurassic Park for a dinosaur vlog. So I'll be reading that for a video. I'm going to be reading Out by Natsuo Kirino finally for a video this year. I'm going to be reading The Vanished Birds for a video coming up this month, and The Wonder State also this month. And then this category is 4 books that I purchased recently that I don't want to sit on my TBR shelf for years, so I'm going to prioritize these. I just bought this from the UK, Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I need to figure out a video I can fit this in. Lone Women by Victor Laval. Need to figure out a video to fit that in. Knock Knock Open Wide, and Sisters of the Lost Nation. These I have no plans for, but I need to figure it out. And then my last category is 4 books that I gave a 10 out of 10 for initial intrigue and want to make sure that I read. Maybe I'll make a whole video reading my 10 out of 10s, but I do actually need one more because I only have 3 books left on my TBR shelf that I gave a 10 out of 10. One of them was Mirrorland, Are You Sleeping, and We Sold Our Souls. So I will have that 4th ready to go, hopefully from now, once I reorganize my TBR shelf, read the first chapter of some things, post a little members video, and figure that out. And I just have Mayfly sitting here because I thought I wanted to read it. So I pulled it off my TBR shelf, but it didn't fit into any of the categories except for something that I bought recently, I guess. So this is currently my 24th, but it's more so because I thought I'd be reading it for a video that I don't know now that I will. So we'll just see how everything shakes out. Once I post my 24 and 24 on Instagram, make sure you follow me there if you want to feel up to date, because there will be 1 book in it in that picture that I didn't talk about here because I don't know yet that it got a 10 out of 10. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today for revisiting my goals, talking shit about myself and my failures, and making new goals for a new year. This list was longer than normal, so when I reflect on this, I hope that it goes well and that I hold myself accountable. So I will see you, I don't know, in a couple days, hopefully, with my big extravagant stats video. Otherwise, you let me know what you're into, when you want to hear from me, what you want it to be. I'm gonna go take a nap and then post this, and I'll see you soon. Bye!